Okay, it looks like I'm on it.
Sweet. Perfect. Excellent. Where there's a will, there's a way. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me just give you the quick tour of...
Yeah.
Let me give you the quick tour of Foundry. In the upper right corner, there is a toolbar. The main ones that we'll be interested in are the two little chat bubbles. If you click on that, it takes you to the chat screen. It's where it will show all the dice rolls.
Okay.
There's also one that looks like a little person, a head and shoulders. You can always find your character sheet there. If I don't have a token on the board, just click on that actors and you should see yourself listed there. And then the last one is going to be the little musical note. There should be some music playing in the background here, and you have your own controls for volume on that if you want to adjust that up or down.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go ahead and open your character sheet, and we'll just look over that sheet real quick, and I'll let you do a test dice roll. So I think you are playing Torin, the hunter?
Yes.
Perfect. So if you double-click on your token or get it from the Actors tab, it should pull up your character sheet. And the main thing, you're going to have attributes and skills. You have 2 physical attributes, physique and precision, and 2 mental attributes, logic and empathy. And each one of those has 3 skills listed below it. And let's say I wanted you to make we'll say a stealth roll. So you're really good at that. You have a precision of 4 and a stealth of 4. If you just click on stealth, it's going to roll 8 dice, and you're just trying to get a 6 or higher. And you got 2 of them. Excellent. So then over in the chat bar, it shows us that you rolled 8 dice, and you had 2 successes. So you would not need to push that roll. To push it means you didn't succeed and you want to try again. And if you did push that, then you would have to select one of those physical conditions, since this was a physical skill, either exhausted, battered, or wounded. And once you have all 3 of exhausted, battered, and wounded, and you take one more, it makes you broken, then bad things happen. You are potentially dying at that point. So you do want to be cautious with how you push your rolls. Each of you has a memento. It's going to be at the top of your character sheet, kind of just to the right of your experience. It'll say memento. So Torin, yours is a blurry photo of a strange light in the woods. And at any point during the adventure, one time, you can spend 10 or 15 minutes in quiet contemplation with your memento and heal 2 conditions. And so if things get really bad, you can kind of check yourself out for a few minutes and try and recover some of those conditions. And as we start to take damage, or potentially take damage, I will remind people, hey, if you need to use your memento, go ahead and do that. The other thing I wanted to cover on here is sometimes I may have you add bonuses to your dice roll. So when you go to roll, I may say, hey, add a +2 bonus. That's just going to roll 2 additional dice. Okay?
Yep.
Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. So every session of Vaesen starts with an invitation. So let me just put this up on the board. So this takes place in the springtime, when the snow has melted and the sun shines longer every day. A letter arrives. To whom it may concern, I urgently request your assistance. My name is August von Meyer. I am a forest owner and industrialist, and own one of the largest sawmills in northern Sweden, located here in Harnosand, where I am working to modernize this region. To this end, I am procuring heavily forested tracts of land and employing large parts of the local population in said areas. Some time ago, 2 of my employees, Mr. Gottfried Hammerstrom and his assistant, Niels Lindeskold, were sent to a small village called Farnsta, north of Harnosand. It is located deep in the woods, and the land was said to be highly fertile and abundant with forests. Hammerstrom was therefore responsible for ensuring a transaction between the villagers and yours truly. But now, alas, tragedy has struck. One night, poor Niels returned on horseback, wearing nothing but his nightshirt. He was in a frantic state, rambling about some evil beast he beheld in the village. Niels has not been the same since, and can barely speak. Hammerstrom is missing, and I fear what may have befallen poor Gottfried. I sense that something is amiss. There is more to this place than meets the eye. That is why I am writing to you. I would like to enlist your services in uncovering the truth about what has happened to Hammerstrom, and stopping the beast mentioned by Mr. Lindeskold at any cost. You come very highly recommended, and your expertise would be invaluable in our current predicament. Should you accept this task, you will, of course, be richly rewarded. Please reply with utmost haste, for time is of the essence. I shall wait for you in Harnesand to explain more, and arrange your trip to Farnsta. Sincerely, August von Meyer. If you need to reference that, it will show up in the chat bar, all of that text, just for your reference. For the sake of the adventure, it's assumed that you're going to take this journey and head to Harnesand to meet Mr. von Meyer and find out more about how you can assist him. Find out what happened to poor Mr. Hammerstrom, and perhaps even speak with Niels Lindeskold, if he is in his right mind. As you undertake the journey, and as a point of mechanics in the game, each of you will get what's called an advantage. It's basically a +2 bonus, and it's to any one skill that you choose, and it's not something you're going to mark on your character sheet. You're just going to remember that at any point during this game, you can say, I want to use my +2, and you'll add 2 dice to that roll. If anyone would also like to maybe poke around in the days before you head to Harnesand, you can make a learning roll and perhaps gain some insight or information about what's going on here.
Yes, I think Valentina would like to know more.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a learning roll. Excellent, you got a success. So, you dig around for information about Farnsta, but you do not find anything. There is no record of this small remote village. It appears to be very isolated from the outside world. However, you do dig up some information about the local logging industry. And you know that in the mid-19th century, the logging industry emerged as one of Sweden's leading industries, particularly in the northern regions. Huge sawmills with lots of workers were built upon the coast, where timber was treated and later sold to other parts of the country or shipped abroad. They were constructed in the lower reaches of rivers, which were used for so-called log driving, where logs were floated downstream to the mills. Initially, the sawmills were powered by water, often via water wheels, but as technology advanced, they eventually started running on steam. For lumberjacks, the most common tool was the axe, until it was replaced by the 2-man crosscut saw in the 1860s, which in turn was replaced by the 1-man version 30 years later. And that's roughly where we find ourselves now, is about 1890, 1895-ish, as we prepare to take this journey. So with your learning skill, you do learn some information about the logging industry, and that Farnsta is basically not even on the map. Does anyone else want to make a learning attempt?
Yeah, I think Victor would.
Yeah, go for it. See what the priest can dig up. Do you want to push that roll?
Oh, that's not worth it.
No, definitely not. Anyone else want to see what they can dig up?
I'll make
I guess I can try.
Yeah, you can both go ahead and roll. Helena got a success. And do you want to push that roll, Torin? If
No, I don't.
You'll take a condition. Helena, you learned that August von Meyer is very wealthy, and he's a very successful industrialist. He's built a logging empire in northern Sweden by purchasing much of the forest land. He also hires locals wherever he invests, which has allowed him to maintain a good reputation. As you embark on your journey, it's going to take quite some time. This is a long journey, first by train, before taking a stagecoach to Harnessand. The day of departure is warm and sunny. It's a nice spring day, and the sound of the steam whistle fills the air at the station, along with clouds of black smoke. It is a 24-hour train ride with the night spent on board. The stately green trees of the Swedish countryside slide past the windows, and lingering snow is glimpsed on the mountaintops as the train continues further and further north. Once the train stops at the last station in Anga, the journey continues by stagecoach for another 2 days with overnight stops along the way. The air here is crisper and cooler than in Uppsala, where you came from, and the flowing of brooks is heard outside. The closeness to nature is felt through the whole body. Now, Torin, you did not find any information when you were digging around in the big city in Uppsala, but in one of these small roadside inns, you learned that people here, if you mention the name Farnsta, they kind of look at each other and whisper, and finally someone confides in you that the people up north are strange. It is said that they are very different and uncivilized, and to proceed with all caution. Finally, you arrive in Harnessand, and you find von Meyer's sawmill, located where the Angerman River flows into the Bothnian Sea, and you see several cargo ships being loaded with timber, as well as a huge number of logs being floated down the river. The sawmill is a modern, steam-powered facility, and the loud roar of the steam engine blends with the sound of numerous toiling workers. Let me send you a picture of August von Meyer.
He looks like an August.
I know, right? Looks just like his name. So his name suggests noble birth, but you can tell he has worked hard to get where he is and managed to build a vast industrial empire. He greets you, my friends. Thank you for answering my beckon. Please, you must do what you can to help me here. I trust you had a pleasant journey.
Oh, well, yes, we did.
Oh, excellent. Surely you have questions for me. How may I assist you as you assist me?
Well, I guess the question is, what do we need to assist you on?
Well, I sent my 2 men, Hammerstrom and Lindeskold. They were tasked with purchasing land on my behalf, and they left for Farnsta 2 weeks ago. Farnsta is important to me. It's heavily forested, and the soil is said to be very fertile. The village is isolated and has almost no contact with the outside world, as it's more or less self-sufficient. I wish for you to find out what happened to Hammerstrom. He has not returned. Lindeskold, he mentioned something that chased him away, and if you can also take over Hammerstrom's task of seeing the deal through, you would be in my debt. You would be handsomely rewarded. I will make arrangements for you in Farnsta. The village head, Marta Karlström, she will take you in and see that you are well accommodated.
Basically, you don't care about Fensta at all. You want to take over the land.
Oh, no, of course not. I do care about Farnsta. I want to manage the land. I would see that everyone in Farnsta benefits from this arrangement.
Very well.
In fact, why don't you give me an investigation roll as you're asking him this. Oh, you got a success. Excellent. He says, look, I am a wealthy man, and I earned this wealth through hard work. I believe that the land can give to all of us, and we can all benefit from it. I do not think it necessary that anyone suffer, and surely the people up in Farnsta would not mind more money in their pockets and advancement for their children and their children's children. It is but a remote village, and we will bring it up to date with the greatest cities in Sweden.
Have you asked them what they think about that?
Well, that is why I sent Hammerstrom and Lindeskold. They were there to arrange this purchase, but something terrible has happened. Let me take you to see Lindeskold. You will see exactly what has happened to this poor man. And he takes you to a locked room at the sawmill. And peering inside the locked room, you see a man with a 1,000-yard stare. He's sitting in a chair in the corner, just slowly rocking back and forth, just staring off into the distance, completely unaware of where he is. And Victor Black, would you give me a medicine test? Go ahead and make a medicine roll. Do you want to push that roll?
Does this feel a little more important?
Yeah, it's you definitely don't have to, but this could be useful, and you got it. Excellent. So, as you observe Lindeskold, you see he is clearly in a state of shock, and you notice scars and scratches along his arms and face. He's very thin, having barely eaten since his return. And you notice that he is moving his mouth, but not much sound is coming out. If you listen, you can hear that he's mumbling about something with red eyes. He just keeps talking about those red eyes as he stares off into space. And August von Meyer says, "See, this poor man, he cannot even interact as he normally did. He was once brave and wise and intelligent, but now there's nothing there. He is locked
Has
behind."
he been completely unresponsive?
Sorry, what was that?
I asked him, our host, if has he been completely unresponsive since you found him?
Oh, no, he does speak somewhat, but it is screeches and growls like some beast. I asked him once what happened to his companion. I dare not say the name, because mere mention of the name will cause him to burst into uncontrollable tears. But he makes sounds of beast-like sounds. He clearly saw something and is suffering from something. I suspect that it is some of those supernatural beings that folks talk about in the woods. Farnsta, you see, has a reputation for being different.
So I will approach him. Sorry.
What was that?
No.
Valentina? Or Helena, excuse me.
I will approach him and ask, I'll say, we believe you that you saw something out there, that something maybe supernatural happened, but what is this beast you're talking about with red eyes?
You're asking Lindeskold or August von Meyer?
Lindeskold.
Lindeskold. As you mentioned the beast with red eyes, his eyes grow as large as saucers, and he lets out this shrieking, high-pitched squeal and begins to scratch at his face, trying to almost claw his eyes out, before August reaches out and grabs his wrists with firm hands and tries to calm him. And he looks at you and says, "Whatever he saw, it was something terrible. The only thing I've gotten out of him is that it was big, it was very large and dark. But those eyes, that's all he talks about." And then, Tommy, Torin, what did you say?
Oh, well, I was just saying when he was saying the creatures up there, I was just saying, the Vaesen.
Ah, yes. And as you mentioned the term Vaesen, all of your companions nod, knowing exactly what you speak of. That Vaesen are the supernatural creatures that live in these lands that were tied to nature long ago, and with the rise of industrialism, they have begun to, where once they shared the land with people, now they begin to fight back as people pollute the land with coal fire smoke and ripping up the forests and all manner of things that the Vaesen find intolerable. And perhaps he has awoken a Vaesen in Farnsta. August shakes his head and says, my friends, I'm afraid time is pressing. You see what happened to poor Lindeskuld. Hammerstrom has not yet returned. His life is in danger. Will you not go to Farnsta urgently and find out what happened to my man?
I would like to inspect Mr. Lindeskuld medically, please.
Yep, give me a medicine roll. Excellent, you got a success. What are you looking for specifically?
His mental state.
His mental state. He is clearly checked out. He is not consciously aware of what's going on in the room. He does not make eye contact. His pupils are unresponsive. He is definitely not a mentally stable human being. And you suspect that he is in a state of shock from having seen or experienced something terrible. You do notice, again, the scratches on his face, and you think that perhaps they were caused by his escape. It looks as though they were not made by claw or blade, but by tree limbs and branches whipping around his face as he fled the village.
I nod silently and I go back.
As you begin the trek from Harnessand, I'm going to pull you onto a map. Harnessand is down here at the bottom. And if you need to move the map on Foundry, you can hold down the right button and then drag it, and you can move the map up and down. You can use the wheel to make it larger or smaller. Farnsta is up at the very top of the map. As you begin your journey, it's a day's journey by stagecoach from Harnessand through the woods to Farnsta, along the river where the logs are floated downstream. The further you go, the worse the roads become, and the sky is increasingly hidden by trees. Few people ever come this way, and it shows. The sun has already set by the time you arrive in Farnsta. Pull up a picture of the city. The tower of the old stone church, raised in the early Middle Ages, is glimpsed in the moonlight. It is the only stone building in the village, whose cabins and houses are exclusively made of wood. The rest of the village is not much to look at, with houses for the villagers, a modest general store and post office, and a simple village hall. The stagecoach rolls deeper into the village, and near the end of the high road, you see the sawmill by the Farnstra stream, before the coach turns off towards Marta Karlstrom's home. Her home is exquisite and beautiful, built in the old style. It's an ornamented building whose lumber is a testament to its age. This is one of the oldest and finest homes in Farnsta, 2 stories tall and built from dark lumber, with exquisite natural motifs carved into the facade. Clearly this has been around for generations. It is located somewhat near the sawmill, and based on August von Meyer's information, Marta is the owner of the sawmill in town. She greets you at the door. Her house is lit by candles and lanterns. She welcomes you into her home. She has food set upon the table. Let me send you a picture of her. This is Marta Karlstrom.
Oh, I thought her name was Cruella de Vil.
Oh, Cruella de Vil. It looks very much like it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. She says, "Oh, welcome to Farnsta. We do not receive many visitors here. Please come in. I have food set out for you. I have venison, beer, fresh vegetable stew, bread, cheese, whatever you might like. I have aquavit if any of you care to partake, or I have fresh water if you would prefer. It is much fresher and better than the water you are used to in the big city. Please spend the night here, as many nights as you need, and I will see to it that any information you require, any assistance, I will make sure is given to you." And she sits at the table and picks at a little plate of bread and cheese, while you seat yourselves around her table ready to partake in this small feast that she's set up. She says, "I want to welcome you to Farnsta. This village has always been close to nature, and the surrounding forest is something that we are all proud of."
So, Mrs. Karlstrom, I understand you are the owner of the sawmill.
Ah, yes, indeed. I have owned it for quite some time. I employ many of the locals. It's an important source of everything from timber for construction to woody residues for firewood.
So how do you feel about this Mr. Meyer and his desire to purchase the land? Is this something you find favorable?
Well, I need some time to think about it. He sent some men. Surely that's why you're here. I spoke with his man Hammerstrom. He came and wanted me to sell the sawmill to Mr. von Meyer, and I needed time to think about that. After all, the sawmill is my pride and joy.
Well, of course, take time to consider it.
Well, of course, it is not something I would rush into quickly.
Do I see?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Clara.
Do I see anything on her face that says if she's sincere or she's hiding something?
Yeah, give me a vigilance roll.
There you go.
Well done. You get the impression that she is a woman of great power, that she speaks the truth, that Hammerstrom did come to her and she desired some time to think of it. But you also get the impression that being a woman of power, perhaps she's holding something back.
I'm gonna ask her, does she know anything about what happened to the people that came out to talk to her before?
Her face suddenly turns down, and she whispers that a local legend. It tells of a large beast guarding the church. It's said to be quick and strong, more agile and dangerous than a wolf, with glowing red eyes, and that those seeking to damage holy ground end up in its maw. I would assume that it would surely obey someone with ties to such a place. Imagine if someone were to use it for their own ends. And she looks at Victor Black, who is a priest, and she looks at you knowingly, as though she knows that that a man of the cloth would surely be able to command such a thing. I'm going to have Helena and Valentina give me a learning roll. You both recognize the description of what she has said as that of a church grim. A church grim is a type of Vaesen that is frequently found around religious structures. It is a guardian, a creature set about protecting these areas from any that would do them harm.
Valentina is
what-
very interested by that information.
Let me type that in the chat bar. It's called a church grim.
And it's a wolf-like creature?
So it would be. It is one of these supernatural beasts that patrol sacred areas, sacred ground, and many times it takes the form of a great feline with red eyes.
Oh, okay. So it's a being more than a specific.
Yes. Yes, you might see it if you are unfortunate and intending harm upon holy places. I pray that you do not see it, because your first sight will be your last.
Have you
Well, I kind of turned
seen one?
to our group.
It should be of concern to you, because it definitely sounds like this might be what Niels Lindström saw, what may have chased
That's
him
what I
out
was
of
just
town.
going to say.
Marta.
It sounds like he's describing the red eyes and what he was rambling.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like that's what he's describing. So it sounds like he came face to face with the Church Grim. Now, my friends, if you've no further questions, I'm afraid I must be to bed. And she tells you your rooms are at the end of the hall. There are fresh linen set out. I will have breakfast for you in the morning. Please enjoy your time in Farnsta. I trust that you will not need to be here long to determine that von Maya's men simply fled in fear because someone or something was after them. I suspect it is this Church Grim.
So Valentina stealthily makes her way towards the best room available.
The best room? Okay, there's a very nice room. It's got a 4-poster bed and well appointed, and you can lay first claim to that if you like. You notice that it is just across the hall from Marta's own bedroom.
Excellent.
Would anyone like to do anything else before we go to bed?
Well, I would just like to kind of talk to the group a bit about how, it definitely seems like this church grim was something that the rambling person ran into. And like they were saying, it's controlled by some kind of person associated with the church. So maybe we need to.
That's kind of the impression that you get from Marta, is that that someone associated with the church could likely control such a thing.
So I'm going to suggest maybe we kind of figure out who might possibly be associated with this church that might want to be controlling, to wreak havoc on people that are coming to and like possibly purchase the lands. There seems to be a connection, maybe.
Yeah. Do you want to go out at night and maybe check out the churchyard, or wait until morning?
Well, I don't know. What does the rest of the group say?
I kind of think it might be nice to check it out at night. This thing's not going to be out at broad daylight, is it? And no, probably not going to find anything particularly abnormal.
You turn around and you notice that Valentina is already outside.
Oh, nice. I think you guys are going out on a little night adventure then.
Yep.
To the church.
Before we leave, Johan will ensure that his revolver is loaded and easily accessible.
Excellent. You don't suspect that you will need it, but you have seen things in your life. In fact, if we look at your character sheet, and everyone can look at theirs. There is a past trauma that everyone has, and a dark secret. And you can use these items as you wish to roleplay. And perhaps, Johan, there is something in your past that makes you cautious and weary. Let me send you...
I already am using mine.
You're already using yours? Excellent, excellent. Well, the old stone church is impossible to miss. It is an imposing square tower and facade made of grey stone. It's an awesome sight, a reminder of a bygone age. It's virtually the only building not made of wood. It's located on the outskirts of the village, with its graveyard facing the great, dark, and mysterious forest. There are no lights on presently in the church, but there is a small sign out front that says when the service times are, and that the local priest is someone named Ingvar Nystrom. Let me just put that into the chat so you got his name.
Could you remind us, is it more the church or the graveyard that should interest us?
It sounds like it's probably the church that would be of more interest. But the graveyard does, it seems like it abuts against the forest. What would you like to check out?
I'm entering the church.
You're going to go into the church?
Yes.
The door is locked. It would take a stealth roll to try and get that door open.
No problem.
Oh, excellent. Easily done. Let me pull up a map of the church here. Once inside the church, you are down here at the main entrance. You can see the long structure of the church, past all of the pews, the baptismal font. You see the altar, and off to the eastern side, or the western side, you can see another door. This would be the priest's private chambers.
I'm making my way slowly towards the altar.
What is everyone else doing?
I'm going right there with her.
Okay.
Kind of just prepared, looking around to see if there's any kind of...
What is our
Anyone sneaking
local
up?
priest gonna do?
Yeah, how do you feel about breaking into a church?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, it all happened rather quickly. It's pretty serious business, though. This guy might know what's up. So I'm going along with it, but I'm more interested in like the finer details of the church. You know, I'm like the physical aspect of it.
Yeah, give me an observation roll. Excellent, you succeed. This is a very old church. You have been around a few churches in your time. Most of them are more modern, meaning built within the last 100 years. This is clearly several hundred years older than that. This is a medieval style church. It has been modernized to some small extent with the benches, but the actual stonework is hundreds of years old. And it feels almost solemn to be in this old of a building, as you consider how many people have come here to hear the word of God, and how many people have come here to confess and be made pure and made whole. And you cannot help but marvel at this construction. It's about that time that you hear your companions lurking through the church, and you know that you feel a twinge of regret that it has come to this, but you know that you have a task to do. You just hope that you don't startle the poor old priest who likely lives here.
Johan will keep watch at the door. He's not gonna go too far in, but just make sure our back is covered.
Give me a vigilance roll, please. Excellent. If you see something, I will tell you.
Do I feel any kind of special vibe, mystical vibe, anything?
Yeah, I think I could give you a chance to roll for that. Give me an observation roll. Well done. I think you've made all of your rolls. I don't think you've missed one yet.
I know.
You do get a
Nice.
sense as you approach the altar that there is something different about this. It's almost a supernatural sense. In fact, you almost swear that there is something just outside the church, perhaps on the other side of the altar. And then you hear the gentle crunching of leaves outside. And you pause for a moment, considering if you actually heard that, or if it was just a trick of the mind. But it sounds like there is something large just outside the church.
I very slowly make my way closer.
So you're kind of getting up close,
Like
up into the altar.
sneaking, like still sneaking, but in the shadows, I'm making my way slowly to up closer.
You are up at the altar. Give me a stealth roll. Wow. Okay. You sneak right up there. Well done. So now, Victor, you see Valentina getting up close to the altar, and you know this is where many sacred and holy items are kept. Do you have any objection at this point?
Yeah. That altar is sacred. This place is well. You said it yourself. Centuries worth of faithful have come and gone. These people are ideally in heaven now. You know.
Exactly.
You're not going to profane this place, certainly.
And you don't know for sure what Valentina is about, but you see her getting very, very close to this place of holy worship. Valentina, you get right up into the altar, and now you can hear thudding footsteps outside the church. And
I put my ear against the wall.
perfect. So it's unmistakable. Something is stalking outside. It appears to be moving from west to east and then slowly heading south, and you see a shadow pass by this window here. The moonlight flickers for a moment as something passes that window. Now, Johan, you are a hunter, correct?
No, I am an officer.
You're an officer. Torin, you're the hunter.
Yeah, that's correct.
Give me an observation roll.
Okay.
Do you want to push that roll?
No.
Okay. One other thing that I will mention with how the game works. So, Torin, you have not taken any conditions, but let's say you had taken a condition, like a mental condition, and then you were to roll that observation roll. For every condition, you would roll one less die. And so as you take conditions, it makes it a little harder to pass tests. So again, if you push that roll, you would take a condition, and then it would make it just maybe a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of thinking. It's you take them when it's something extremely important.
Right. Yeah,
Really
something like
important.
this, maybe not quite so much, but when it's life or death, definitely might want to push that roll.
In combat or something, when you gotta hit them or you're gonna go down.
Yeah. Torin, you don't notice the sound, the sight or sound of anything. You didn't see the flicker at the window, and you might have even been looking right at it. You don't hear any stalking sounds of beasts, and you would recognize it being a hunter. Johan, you are keeping watch down by the main door. You likewise don't hear anything as of yet. Helena, what are you doing?
You said there was like the priest study in
Yeah.
here too, right?
You gonna try and get into there?
Do we think he would like be in there?
Ah,
Because I kind of want to break in and see if there's like anything incriminating.
it's very likely he lives here. Give me a learning roll to see if you might be aware of this.
Okay.
You think that there's a chance he lives here, but at the same time, maybe he lives in town, or maybe he's staying with someone. You're not positive. You could make a stealth roll, maybe peek through the keyhole kind of thing, or listen at the door. I'll give you an observation roll to do that.
Nice.
You press your ear up against the door, and you hear soft snoring coming from inside.
Okay.
Very gentle, very soft. Someone is asleep in there.
So I
If you
won't
are
look.
stealthy, you could still maybe get in there. Just don't let Victor Black see you. He would probably have a fit if he saw you breaking into the priest's private chambers.
I don't want to get caught, so I don't think I'm going to.
Okay. About this time, Johan, you're keeping watch at the door. You now begin to hear something prowling around outside. And it sounds large, almost like a horse clopping through the dry leaves.
I will motion over Torin, the hunter, and just see if he recognizes anything. His senses are more attuned than mine for this sort of thing.
I'm going to give Torin an observation roll with a bonus of +1 because he's being helped by Johan.
Okay. And then, okay, just add that in the bonus.
Excellent. So you got that one success there. You and Johan and Torin, you both see something. Let me pull it up. Let me send a picture here. Let's see. You see this. You see a great black cat the size of a horse outside with flaming red eyes. Brimstone and sulfurous smoke seems to seep off of its back. I'm going to make this visible for everyone. If you want to see that picture again, if you go to the journals, it looks like a little book. You should have access to a picture called The Grim. Click on that, you'll be able to see that. Let me get the invitation set up that way as well.
Kitty!
Kitty! So I knew that Luke would like this adventure because of this.
Yeah, this is amazing. I don't complain.
Oh, okay.
So, Johan and Torin, you see this lurking outside. It does not seem to have noticed you, but it is definitely patrolling the church grounds.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps we should bar the door and just keep an eye on it, and then we can leave once it's left the area.
You're able to keep an eye kind of through the church windows. And you see it just seems to be making a large circle around the church. It heads off around the front entrance over to the western side, then heads up into the graveyard and over off into the trees in the distance making its rounds around town.
Is there any way out apart from the door then?
That seems to be the only way out, unless you want to try to go through a window.
That's what I was thinking.
No, I think that's pretty unthinkable. Goodness, those windows. The cultural artifacts.
What if you damage one?
Alright. Helena, you hear a snort, as though someone is perhaps waking up or having a moment in their sleep, and you don't hear the snoring anymore, and you can hear faint shuffling around in the room.
Oh no. Guys, we need to get out of here.
Do you say that out loud?
Very quietly.
Okay. You see Helena frantically gesturing that the priest is waking up.
I'll start stealthily sneaking back towards the door.
Yeah, let's have everyone give me a stealth roll. Oh boy.
I got
we
my
go.
first
There we
fail!
And if anyone wants to push these, you can. So far, it's just Johan and Torin that had success on that. So Helena, Valentina, and Victor, you do not succeed. Do you choose to push those rolls?
No.
I will.
You gonna push yours? You got it. So just give yourself a condition. If you open up your character sheet, it'll be down at the bottom, and stealth falls under physical, so it would be either exhausted, battered, or wounded. Probably exhausted. There we go. Perfect. Anyone else want to push that roll? So Helena said no. Victor, do you want to push your roll?
I already pushed a roll. I have to pass.
Let's see. So, and Helena, you are not being stealthy. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not.
As you are leaving the church, Torin and Johan make sure that the coast is clear. You open the door and slip out, and as you leave, Helena, your foot finds a small hymnal that had been placed on the ground, and you accidentally kick it, and it scuffs along the ground, and you hear a voice calling out from the priest's private quarters. Hello? Hello? Do you stick around or do you leave?
I'm leaving.
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Everyone heads out into the night. You're out on the front area of the church. Do you try and lock the door behind you after picking it open, or just shut the door and go?
I'm just gonna shut the door.
Okay.
If anyone wants to try and lock it, that's fine, but I'm just leaving.
I might try and lock it real quick, just to hide the
Yeah.
fact that we snuck in.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll.
What do I roll for that?
You can give me
Stealth?
either stealth, a stealth roll for that. Oh, you got it. Nice. So you managed to get that door locked, and so now if the priest comes out, he'll find that it is locked, and perhaps that will get him off of your trail. Well done. You are outside. It is dark. You can see the dark woods not far off. You do not hear the church grim anywhere nearby, but you hear the soft whisper of wind as it blows through the trees.
Can I investigate like around the outside of the church?
On the outside of the church?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me an observation roll. You got it. As you are looking around outside the church, you notice a large flock of crows in the branches over a tree about 20 or 30 feet into the woods. You can hear them softly and you see them fluttering every now and then. Give me a learning roll as well. You want to push that?
Yeah.
Okay. No, so go ahead and you're going to take a condition. But you notice that there are some crows off in the trees.
Is that all I find?
That's all that you notice from here. You do not notice any huge horse-sized cat prints anywhere on the ground.
Okay.
I stealthily make my way towards the graveyard.
So the crows are not far from the graveyard. If you went through the graveyard and about 20 or 30 feet in, you would find the tree with the crows in it.
I'm fine with that.
Do you want to make a learning roll?
Sure.
Do you want to push that roll?
No.
Let me have Torin. You're the hunter. Give me an observation roll.
Okay. So far, I've been a very unobservant hunter, but we'll see.
Oh. You know that crows are often seen in the presence of kills, of dead animals. They are scavengers. They're more than happy to take apart something that they find. And now you begin to notice the faint stink of something rotten in the air.
I will kind of stealthily investigate where the odor is coming.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from near that tree. As you get closer, the putrid stench grows increasingly intense, and soon its source becomes apparent. The crows scatter into the air, revealing what they had been feasting on, a body, seemingly dressed for some fancy occasion, but now its fine garments have been reduced to bloody rags. Although it was human, it looks more like something thrown into a potato masher, its broken limbs pointing in different directions, and though its chest was facing the ground, the head has been twisted around to stare up at the night sky. One eye is missing, perhaps taken by one of the crows, and in the empty socket lives a small colony of maggots. The jaw is broken, dangling off the savaged face at an odd angle, and there are large cuts along the side of the head, along with patches of bare skull, with tiny marks most likely pecked by the crows. By now the dry brown blood on the ground looks like the soil on which the body rests. But despite this grotesque state of the body, you could still see the fear in the man's face, the terror that Mr. Hammerstrom must have felt as he was torn to shreds. Torin, you're going to make a fear roll. You can combat fear with either logic or empathy. I'll let you choose which one, and you'll get a +3 because you've got some companions with you.
Okay.
Excellent. So you managed to pass the fear test at seeing this gruesome discovery. Do you draw the others over to witness this?
Maybe I kind of go over to them and tell them what I see before I just wave them over to them.
I go towards the body, I look at it, and I say like amateur.
Oh.
Do you want to search that body?
Yes.
I'll search the body.
Yeah, give me an observation roll to search through there.
See if it has any ID.
Well, you do find a wallet. It looks like this is Mr. Gottfried Hammerstrom. Much of his clothes are soaked in blood. Do either of you want to push those rolls?
No.
Valentina?
No, I'm alright.
You find a note. This note says, to Mr. G. Hammerstrom, meet me at the church after dark. I have some words that may help you in your endeavor. Regards, I. Nystrom.
Wasn't that the priest's name?
That was the priest's
Correct.
name.
The priest that we just woke up.
You now hear the crunching of heavy feet on gravel about 100 feet away to the north. And you can hear the low rumble of a cat's growl. And you fear that the church grim is returning and perhaps has caught your scent.
I'm not really in the mood to fight a church. But I do get my rifle ready as I kind of look around and kind of prepare to back off.
Give me just 1 second here.
But I believe it should be kind of our knowledge that these Vaesen are creatures that you don't really want to mess with.
Oh, hang on, I'm having some audio issues. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna disconnect from audio and get back on. I'll be right back. Let me see if that's any better. Sorry, what was that you said you wanted to do?
Oh, I was going to kind of get my rifle ready, but I was going to kind of start backing off a little bit, not being aggressive, because I believe it would be kind of in our understanding that these Vaesen and these creatures aren't really something that you want to try and combat.
Yeah, so I think I caught most of that. So you're going to get your rifle ready. It sounds like that you don't want to get into direct combat with this thing, which I definitely don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just kind of in a protective mode and trying to kind of back away.
Yeah, if you encourage everyone to back away and you kind of take cover or take an overwatch position, I'm going to give everyone a bonus on their stealth rolls, bonus of +2. Helena, not so good. Everyone else did great. You want to push that roll, Helena?
Yeah.
You still get that bonus on there, so it should, if you hit push, it should automatically roll that.
Really?
Oh, wow. And Torin, do you want to push yours?
No, I'm not gonna push it.
10d6 and you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Statistically, you should have had that. But,
I know.
where is everyone heading to? Are you heading back to Marta's house?
Yes.
Which would be
I am.
the red house over here, the Karlstrom home. So, Victor, Johan, and Valentina, you managed to get away quite easily. Torin and Helena, you lag behind somewhat slower. And Torin, not wanting to let anyone be left behind, perhaps sacrifices his own ability to get away for this. And as you are attempting to run through the woods, I'm going to pull us to this page. Let me get these off. I'm going to pull some other tokens out here real quickly. We've got Torin. In fact, this is Mr. Hammerstrom's body right there. Torin and Helena. And over here, we've got the Church Grim.
Oh no.
It is sniffing the air, trying to catch sight of you. What do? You see it stalking through the trees.
Hmm.
You want to try and take a shot with your rifle?
I don't know if I want to take a shot. That might tell it exactly where we are.
Very true.
So, I think I'm just going to continue to kind of prepare, like in case it gets closer and I need to fire, and then just kind of slowly keep trying to make my way away from it.
What about you, Helena?
I might be a hunter, but I'm not really a
Right. And this is no beast that you have ever hunted before.
right. So I'm not even sure if I could wound it with my rifle.
Yeah, I'll just continue trying to make my way out of there.
Okay. I'm going to have you give me another roll. Stealth is definitely not going to be your friend right now, so we're going to make an agility roll as you try to sneak out of here. There you go. So Torin, you hear Helena making her way to safety, and now you can begin to back off. You see that the Grim is getting closer and closer, and it begins to sniff the ground where your group has passed, trying to get your scent.
Well, I guess I'm going to kind of, at this point, probably just try and get out of there as fast.
Okay, give me an agility roll. Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you want to push that?
No.
Okay. As you begin to go, following Helena, you hear the beast begin to increase its pace. It has your scent, and now perhaps it has seen you. And you can hear it loping through the woods. It's galloping almost like a horse, just barreling towards you. You sprint and run as fast as you can. Some of the branches are whipping past your face as you try to get your way through the woods, and you consider poor Mr. Lindescold and the scratches he had on his face, and surely this is something that he faced as well. And as you run, you can hear the sound of the beast getting closer and closer. You dare to take a look back over your shoulder, and you can feel the hot breath pressing upon you. It is mere feet away from you. You reach the outskirts of the church property and head into the city of Farnsta proper, and the beast skids to a stop, lets out a loud, blood-curdling cry, and then lopes back in to the woods around the church.
So it stopped right on the edge of the church.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I wiped the tears out of my eyes.
Glad you wore your brown pants that day.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a nice, terrifying experience, but it looks like I get out unscathed and also learned the facet of this beast. It
Exactly,
seems to
yeah.
be entrapped, like are part of the church property. You can't really leave it on its own.
Yeah, it looks like either it cannot or chooses not to leave the church property.
Yeah. So
That
it's
is
definitely
a
tied to
valuable
the
piece
church.
of information there. It is just around midnight. Do you want to head back to the Karlstrom home and get some sleep, or do you guys wish to skulk around town a little bit more?
I think maybe I'm thinking head back home and get some sleep, and then during the daylight maybe we can do
Yeah,
something
maybe come
about
back
the
and
body.
speak with the priest during the day.
Yeah, and maybe let people know that we located the corpse of the person that was
Yeah,
missing.
exactly. Yeah, you did find Hammerstrom's corpse. Probably best to let people know about that. Anyone object to going back to the Karlstrom home?
Nope.
Okay, let's go back there. You let yourselves in and head to your rooms. And Victor and Valentina, please give me a vigilance roll. Valentina passes.
Victor!
How about Victor? Give me a vigilance roll. Maybe.
Oops. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there we go. Valentina. Unless, Victor, do you want to push that?
No, I'm not going to push it.
So, Valentina, you get back to your room, and you are all but certain someone has gone through your belongings. In fact, you are devastated to find that
No!
you are missing an old love letter.
No!
Someone has
Okay.
taken something of yours.
I go frantic and I go knock on the door of the bedroom of Mrs. What's her
Mrs.
name?
Karlstrom.
Yeah.
You hear her say, one moment. And after about a minute, she comes to the door in a robe. She's got her hair tied up in a kerchief. She looks at you and kind of blinks at the light. What is it? What's the matter?
Where's my letter? Where did you put my letter?
Your letter? What are you talking about?
My room has been searched and my most prized possession has been stolen from me. You were the only person here.
I know who that was. I'm so sorry. Some people in the village, clearly they do not want you here. The Skite family, Dorothea and her meddling daughter, Wilhelmina, They have been lurking around. They are not friends of mine. They resent that I own the sawmill, and surely they must have thought that you were like the other men that von Meyer sent, and they've come here to find who you were, and one of them has taken some sort of trophy.
Where would I find them?
She lets you know where their home is. It's not far away. The entire village is quite small. She directs you to their home. You can go now if you wish, but surely this could wait until the light of morning, could it not?
No, and she goes fast and she leaves.
Nice. Well, I bid you farewell. And she closes her door, and you hear the lock tumble as she locks her bedroom door. If you want to head to the Skite home, I'll take us there. You all sent there in the Skite home.
Did anyone see me leaving and wanted to join, or is that just a me thing?
Was anyone paying attention? They probably heard you speaking with Marta, but I think everyone was probably getting ready for bed. But if anyone wants to go with you, they're more than welcome to.
I'm going anyway, so.
Well, are you gonna go let anyone know that you're going? Just see if we
I'm
wanna go?
already halfway there.
Oh, okay.
This love letter is important to you. The
Yes,
Skite
it
family home is a red wooden house with 2 stories and an inclined roof, handed down over generations and renovated time and time again. It is large and spacious, a bit too large for Dorothea and her daughter, who have been its only occupants since Dorothea became a widow. Behind the house you can see the vast expanse of the forest, where Dorothea and her daughter spend great amounts of time walking and hunting. Smoke is currently rising from the chimney as the fire of the hearth rarely goes out thanks to an endless supply of firewood. Do you knock on the door?
Oh yes, frantically.
Frantically pounding on the door? You are...
Oh yeah.
I hesitate to say greeted, but you are met at the door by Dorothea. And let me pull up a picture of her. She doesn't look quite this lovely at this hour of the night. But she smiles and says, we've been expecting you. Come in, I can get a pot of coffee on. I've got bread with whey butter and some simple
I don't
cookies
want your
if you're
coffee.
hungry.
Give me my stuff back immediately.
What are you talking about?
Don't
What?
joke with me. I'm leaving at. I said the name of the lady. I don't forget. And my stuff was stolen, and we were told that people here would be responsible.
Nice. Give me a manipulation roll. Oh, excellent.
Well,
she looks at you and says, I honestly don't know what you're speaking of, but come, let me speak with my daughter. And she shows you to a small area with a tea table and chairs, and goes and rouses her daughter, Wilhelmina. I can send you a picture of her as well. And Wilhelmina comes in, she's rubbing her eyes with fatigue, and she looks at you and smiles and says, "Are you from the big city?" And her mother says, "No, daughter. Did you take something that belongs to this woman?" And she looks at her mother and says, "Well, of course not. Why would I do such a thing?" And they both turn and look at you as though...
Can I do some kind of observation check? Something to see if I see something in their faces?
I'm sorry, I only caught about half of that. For some reason I'm having some...
sorry, I said, can I do some kind of observation roll to see if I see something on their faces?
Yes, please. Do you want to push that roll?
Oh yeah, I'm pushing.
Okay.
And I think we all know which one I'm gonna use.
Oh. You with your current anger, you simply cannot tell and don't even consider that she might be telling the truth. But she stops and says, "You're staying at Marta's house, correct?"
Yes, I am.
I have to tell you something about Marta. She and I do not get along. Marta fancies herself head of the city, of the village of Farnsta, but my family has the wealth. We own the forests.
That's
And
exactly
Marta
why
does not
she
like
says that she would
outsiders.
be the one. And she told me that you were the one who didn't like outsiders.
Hang on, just 1 second. I'm having some issues. Let me try a different set of headphones. Okay, could you say that again for me, Clara, please?
And she told me that you were the one who didn't like outsiders.
Oh, no, that is not correct. You see, she's a strange woman. She definitely does not want people here. I'm afraid I cannot tell you why. We had these men come from Mr. von Meyer. They wanted to buy the land. And I met Mr. Hammerstrom many times. And I want to sell it to von Meyer. So if there was any difficulty in the sale, it did not come from me. It came from Marta. She has reasons for not wanting people poking around.
What kind of reasons?
I don't know why the whole deal came to a halt, but I know that some of it has to do with the iron deposits underneath the church. And Hammerstrom wanted to do anything in his power to secure the deal. On the night of his disappearance, he said he had found an acceptable solution.
I don't say anything back. I just leave and walk back towards Martha's house.
Nice. And then she kind of yells out, "I hope you find your letter."
So I just storm towards Martha's house.
I love it. You head back to the Karlstrom home, where everyone is getting ready for bed. Now, if anyone has conditions, this is an opportunity to try and reduce some conditions. You can spend a scene basically talking over with each other what has happened with the church grim, and kind of inspiring one another to shrug off some of these conditions. If it's a physical condition, someone could make a medicine roll to try and recover that, or someone could also just spend 10 or 15 minutes with their memento and heal up to 2 conditions. Of course, one of you is missing their memento.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to attempt to alleviate some conditions, just let me know, and I will let you role play a quick 4 or 5 minute scene about how you recover mentally from having seen that church grim. Otherwise, we'll go to morning.
To morning? Oh no, I don't want to wait for morning.
Do you want to snoop around Marta's house and see if your letter?
Oh no, I'm confrontational. I don't snoop around.
Or do you want to maybe wait a while and go back to the Skite residence and break in and snoop around there?
No. I was angry about it, but I believed what they said. I want to confront Martha.
Perfect. So you pound on her door again.
Oh yeah.
She is much less pleasant this time when you open the door.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah, right? She says, "What is the trouble now?"
I take my dagger out and I say,
Ooh.
"Don't fuck with me."
Oh, Okay. I'm gonna give you a roll for that. Make a manipulation roll. Ooh. Do you want to push that roll? Actually, I'm going to give you a +1. So you can just roll a 6-sided die. Because you should get a +1 for your dagger. So that was a 4, so not a 6.
Yeah, I'm.
She looks at you and says, "Look, you are only here because I was willing to take you in." Oh, there we go. You pushed your roll and you got it. And then you pull out the dagger and kind of pick your fingernail with it. And she says, perhaps it wasn't the Skites, but perhaps I know who it was. One moment. Let me show you something.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes into her room, and she's going to produce this right here. Let me send it to you. It's kind of tough to read, so I will post this as well. So this is a letter, and this letter reads, "I am writing this in response to your previous letter regarding the developments in Farnsta. In addition to purchasing its fertile forests, the discovery of an iron deposit has made securing Farnsta a top priority. It is my understanding that most of it is located under the village church, which will have to be demolished, but I shall naturally finance the construction of a new one. With the majority of landowners on my side, this will not be a problem. Offer them whatever it takes. This deal must go through, for the most valuable ore is at stake." This is a letter from August von Meyer. And she holds it out to you and says, "Look, clearly someone in town has reason for wanting to do harm to Mr. Hammerstrom and anyone sent by von Meyer. And here you are, sent by von Meyer, and now something bad has happened to you. I think you're pointing the finger of
And I've
blame
been
in the
told
wrong
that
place."
this person was you.
Who told you this?
The person you just sent me to.
Well, she's a
They
liar.
told me you had. They told me you had valid reasons to want to stop this purchase.
Well, what do you think she's going to say? She's jealous of the fact that I own the sawmill and all of the money in Farnsta comes through me.
She was perfectly honest with me about that. She told me everything.
Are you sure she was honest with you?
Yes.
What about the daughter?
What about her?
Well, she's a bit of a thief and a sneak.
Of course you would say that.
Look, it's getting quite late. I suggest we continue this conversation in the morning.
Do you think that I'm playing? I have a dagger in my hand right now.
Maybe you just misplaced this letter.
I would never misplace it.
Perhaps you left it in your coat pocket. Perhaps it's in your bag or in your room, or perhaps you left it on the stagecoach.
After hearing all of this commotion, I have come outside my room and I'm listening to all of this going on, and I'm kind of suspicious of Marta, so I know she owns the sawmill, so I think maybe we should investigate the sawmill.
If someone noticed me they know that I have to be calm down because I will not be okay.
Alright.
If Helena, if you want to make an inspiration roll, maybe you can help to calm down Valentina a little bit.
Sure.
Nope. Do you want to push that?
There's no calming her down.
Oh
Hell
no,
hath no fury.
Oh no. Like, Valentina is not stable to start with. You fuck with her stuff.
Well, Valentina, do you you are a medium, yes, an occultist?
Yes, I am.
Perhaps you could do some sort of seance or something to try and determine what happened to this letter.
Oh, believe me, I will. I
So
close the
I'm gonna
door
come
and I
out.
go.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out and just make sure everything's calming down.
Yeah, there's definitely a fight going on in the hallway. If you want
I'm
to
still,
make an
like,
inspiration roll,
I don't
Torin, you
have
can try and calm things down.
my dagger at her, but I'm holding it firmly in my hand. Even at a point that it's cutting my hand.
Nice. Excellent. So Torin, you speak some sense and help Valentina to understand that you'll help her look for that love letter, and we should probably put the knives away.
Fine, I put my dagger back into my. I
Into your
don't
purse.
know if it's a purse or anything that she would have. Yeah.
And I bring up kind of the idea of using her talents to maybe figure out what happened to this letter instead of just running around and pulling daggers and everything.
It is pretty awesome, though.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. But I cannot do this alone. I will need everyone to help me.
Well, of course we'll help. If we can figure out where this letter met, that might point us in the right direction of who's behind all of this.
So
You want to go
I'm
into your
going.
room, Valentina, and maybe get out your crystal ball and prepare a
Yeah.
small space for meditation.
I grab everything, but I put it in the kind of a living room area,
Oh, nice.
or a table, something.
Yeah, there's a little drawing room in front with a small table and chairs.
Perfect.
And you take out a small velvet cloth, lay it on the table, take out your crystal ball, set it there as well. You've got a few other small items, small crystals, maybe a few tokens of power, talismans as you would.
Mm-hmm.
And you set about preparing to call upon the spirits that have answered you in the past to try and answer you again in this hour. And you'll need to make an observation roll with a bonus because of your crystal ball, so add 1.
Crystal ball. Why do I only have 3? Because
you have conditions.
okay, yeah.
Did you
Damn.
add your bonus on that?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, you have 2 conditions. So you, it's like the magic 8 ball. It just says, it's uncertain. Ask again. But it's a little fancier than that. The mists swirl in the crystal ball, and as you look, you can see yourself putting that letter into your bag. And you can see that bag the whole journey here and being placed into your room. And you can see yourself leaving the room and your bag was there. And then something happens. And you can't quite discern what it is, but you see a shadow that passes over the room. And then a moment later, you see your bag being slightly moved from where you left it. And you know that someone did indeed touch your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that it was not left at home or put anywhere else, but you don't get the information you seek as far as what precisely happened to that letter.
I do share with the others what Mrs. Wilhelmina was the daughter, I believe.
Yes, Wilhelmina was the daughter, and Dorothea was the mother.
Dorothea. I share with the others what Dorothea told me about. How can I say this? She says that Martha would have issues with the transfer because it would take power away from her. And what was the other thing that she told me? She met the Mr. Hammerstrom many times, and the purchase was basically done.
Yeah, she mentioned that there was some iron ore under the church,
and that too.
Mr. von Meyer wanted to tear down the church, and he would of course rebuild it, but it would be moved.
Yes, I assure this because I still look on Mr. Blackface, and and I say they wanted to rebuild a new one, and I share all the information I have.
It sounds like that's maybe what kind of held things up was the destruction of the church.
Yes.
If you've got a few conditions, if you want to try to recover from some of those, someone could maybe talk you down from your angered state. I think Victor would be good at that, or perhaps Helena would be useful. If they want to make an inspiration roll, they can try and talk you down, and I'll let you role play for a minute or two, maybe how you try and calm Valentina down.
And while this is going on, my curiosity is a little piqued, so I'm kind of snooping around the house.
Perfect. Give me a stealth roll.
And I think Johan is a heavy sleeper, and he's just sleeping through all of this.
Nice. Wake up and it's all over.
Talking about this has brought like some sense into Valentina, and she's had an idea.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you. So I can take away my anger.
Well, that was Torin sneaking.
Okay, sorry.
If Victor or Helena want to try and ease some of your conditions, they can heal up to 2 just with 1 success. If they get multiple successes, it could heal additional. But I think you only have 2.
Anyway, I was saying I had an idea, and I mentioned to the others maybe it would be a good idea to go talk to the priest this morning. Maybe he would know who maybe would have issues with the destruction of the church. Maybe himself. We don't know.
Yeah. So is someone going to help Valentina? Either Helena or no.
Oh,
Right.
nope.
Well,
Nothing.
Helena just kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, I'm not very comforting, I guess.
Victor, do you want to use your priestly skills to try and bring some comfort? There we go.
There
I
you
think
go.
with Helena getting involved,
All
Victor
right.
feels pretty awkward about trying to console her like an occultist, but
Right. But you managed to calm her down a bit, and Valentina, you can take 2 of those conditions off.
Yeah, I like that I keep the exhausted because she still hasn't slept all night.
Right, yeah, she's been up, harassing everyone looking for her stolen letter, which honestly I don't blame you. Now, Torin, you were sneaking around the house.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me pull this up here. What are you specifically looking for? Anything in particular?
I'm looking for anything that might give me a clue about maybe something that she's hiding from us. A little background
you got
on
2
her there.
successes, right? So
Yeah, I believe so. And then
you got 2, you're going to find something a little extra.
Okay. And then I'm also looking to see the letter, just to calm down Valentina. She seems very distraught about this letter.
Very much so. So you find, and I'm going to see if I can just get this to. This might send to everyone. You find in a locked closet, but you've managed to force the lock rather easily. You find a black dress and an amulet that looks like this. It says Liberorum Fedus on it. And you also find Valentina's love letter. It is in the same room.
Really?
Give me a learning roll to see if you know what that means, that Liberorum Fedus.
Okay. The thing I find?
You know
Apparently I do.
in Latin it translates to the free ones.
Ah. Okay, so obviously I grabbed the letter. Then I go back, and I'm kind of very stealthily talking to I believe it'd be like Valentina, Victor, and Helena. They're kind of around chatting, trying to calm down Valentina. And I tell them to be very calm about this and not make a reaction. I think this is something that we need to keep to ourselves for now. And then I explain to them what I found as far as the dress and the pendant and what it said. Then I also show them that I found, Valentina's letter in the same room. Let's not overreact about this at the moment. I think this is a sign that there's a lot more going on with her than we know, and so we better not let her know how much we realize at the moment.
Well, how does Valentina react at getting her love letter back?
Oh my god, she gets very, very emotional, but she's trying to keep calm. I say thank you for giving it back to me.
It was an incredible violation of your personal space to have someone
Yes,
take
it
anything
was.
of yours, but particularly that. And getting it back,
Yes.
you probably read through it, grateful to have its return, and knowing that you must be vigilant.
And if I look at it, do I see anything? Is it perfectly as I'm used to seeing it, or is there anything
Yes,
wrong?
it looks as though it has been untouched.
Okay.
We make it to morning,
But just
unless anyone objects.
just a quick
Yeah.
just a quick question, just a game question.
Mm-hmm.
So in this game, from what I read, we're all kind of like the group that works together, correct?
Yeah. So there's an organization called the Society, and it's more of a group of people that have what's called the sight. So not everyone can see Vaesen, but you all have had some sort of trauma in your past that allows you to see them.
So, but what I'm getting at is like we're all kind of we're kind of a close knit group because we work together.
Yes,
doing
exactly.
these kind of investigations. Not like we're just a bunch of
so there's a reason why
together.
you would be together. You have a bond that you share because you do share this sight and you're able to see the Vaesen.
Mm-hmm.
And you've each had a personal experience with Vaesen. That is what gave you the sight. And that should be on your character sheet. But you also know that Vaesen are typically good or neutral, but because of the encroaching designs of man on nature, some of them have begun to rebel. Now, this Vaesen in particular, the Church Grim, is very different from normal ones. This is one that other people can see and be destroyed by, just like Mr. Hammerstrom found out.
So it sounds like it's more of a creature that isn't necessarily a Vaesen from nature,
Right.
almost like something that can be summoned and controlled.
In fact, you find one other thing, just because you are on the right track. You find a piece of medieval text, and this was in the same room that you found the talisman and the letter. So I'm going to show this to you, and then I will read it. This old medieval text says, "If you hear the sound of fleeing birds, snapping branches, and loud footsteps, you shall be its next victim. Pray then that your fate will be swift, for staring into its infernal gaze can plunge even the purest mind into madness. Those who threaten the place of God will suffer its wrath. This fell guardian is our Church Grim, larger than a stag, stronger than a bear, and more agile than a lynx. It watches over God's acre. Running faster than a horse, it hunts down anyone who endangers this place. It rests at the place where the Lord's eyes are watching."
Well, that gives me a little shiver because I went through the whole thing of the fleeing birds and the snapping branches and was
Right.
almost the next victim.
Yeah, that was like exactly what just happened to you.
Yeah, so I kind of can relate to what I just read. And so I find this, and I make the connection that obviously our hostess has some kind of direct connection with this beast that's guarding the church.
I think you're on the right track there.
So I kind of let everyone else know what my suspicions are, but then I reinforced my idea that we should not let her know what we know, and maybe do tomorrow go see the priest and try and figure out his connection. I can ask him about the letter that told the man to meet him there and why he called him out there,
Yeah,
and see if
exactly.
the letter was even sent by him.
Excellent. Definitely on the right path. That night, as you try to get a few hours of sleep, you're awoken about 3 a.m. by the tolling of the church bells. And you know this is rare because typically this would not be done this late at night. But it rings throughout the village, and you hear the barking of dogs, and then all grows quiet again. When you wake up, Marta is not there, but she has left a large spread of breakfast out for you and a note excusing her. She had urgent business at the sawmill, and if you have any questions or need anything during your stay in the village, to please speak with her. She could be found at the sawmill, but she will return at dinner time. Otherwise, she bids you welcome to come or go as you please from her home.
I believe it was Helena had mentioned perhaps investigating the sawmill. If we all went there, perhaps some of us could keep Marta distracted while the others of us do some snooping.
Maybe
So
split up
do
or
some
something.
of you want to go there and some go to the church, or do you want to stick together?
I think probably it'd be best to split up. Like, some people are going to.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Well,
and then that way we can, if we can see if our guest our hostess is actually at the sawmill, like you said.
Right.
Because I'm starting to suspect that those bells ringing at 3 in the morning has something to do with it. And I'm also thinking that why would she steal someone's letter unless it was for some kind of ritual or mark that they needed something personal from somebody.
Yeah, something personal from someone.
So I'm thinking that maybe they were
to
do something to Valentina Backlund there. Maybe she's already in danger.
Maybe there's some sort of mark upon her, or some hex or curse.
Yeah,
Well, who would like to go to the sawmill, and who would like to go to the church? So how about sawmill
I'd like to
first?
go to the church.
I would like to go to the church.
Naturally, I'm going to the church.
Okay, so the three of you to the church. Helena and Johan, do you want to go to the sawmill?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Let's
could
do-
go wrong with splitting the party? What
right?
could
So
go
this
wrong?
is like I'm rubbing my hands with glee because this is perfect. So let's go to the church first, and we'll kind of do it like a movie. We may cut scenes and go back to the sawmill and kind of go back and forth. But for now, we are
Oh,
at
cool.
the church. You arrive, and the front door is open. If you go inside, you are
Yeah, we
greeted
walked
Yeah, well-
by the priest.
And I turn to Victor and I say, maybe you should be the one to talk to him priest to priest, you know?
So that is the hope. Yes, yes.
Let me show a picture of the priest. He looks really menacing.
Oh, well, that mustache is. That mustache
Guilty,
is.
The way it
guilty.
curls up.
Yeah, evil
He
villain right there.
welcomes you into the church, and then seeing Victor, he says, "Ah, fellow man of the cloth, thank you for coming."
Ah, well, I wish I could say it was under better circumstances. We've seen strange things since our arrival, brother. What?
What strange things have you seen?
Well, yes. Just last night we attempted to come into the church, but it was locked. You know, when we went to leave, there was. I mean, you may not believe me. This is hard for me to understand as a man of faith myself, but the society sees, and what we saw was a church grim. This church itself, I'm sure, has records. You might even know what I speak of.
Give me a manipulation roll.
Oh, good point.
Oh, nailed it. Holy cow.
Nice.
I confess.
You get his social security number right there.
Right? He says, you're speaking of Farnster's guardian. Yes, it is a church grim. It has watched over Farnster ever since the church was built. You know how these things come to be. A cat was buried near the foundation. And it's one of the old ways. And I will do everything I can to protect this sacred ground, just as the Grim will.
Interesting tone right there.
Yeah. He's
So-
a zealous man.
Is he the one controlling it?
Do you ask him that?
Yeah.
Give me a manipulation roll.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh,
You guys are grilling the priest.
I'm rattling this guy.
He says, look, it cannot be controlled. Not by me. It was placed here long ago to protect the church. And only in times of great danger does it rise up to protect this sacred hallowed ground. Did you hear the bell last night?
Well, what? Oh, there you go.
There is a saying in the village that the bell only rings when someone is going to die the next day. I am already concerned about who it might be. Perhaps one of the elder villagers. Hopefully not one of you. We have already had one visitor go missing.
I kind of look at with concern over at Valentina.
Oh, yeah, maybe someone is marked. Look, I have some information on this Grim. I'd be happy to share it with you. Come into my office. And he takes you into his private office, rummages through some papers, and then comes up with this document right here. Oh, not that one. It says, "East of the third great stone to the north is the entrance. Deep in the bowels of Farnsta rests its fell guardian. The path twists and turns, but at the place where the Lord's faith is based lies its resting place, like a light in the dark. Hundreds of years ago, this grim was placed here."
At this point, I bring up the letter that we found on the corpse, and I ask him, why did you send this to him? What were you going to discuss with him? And when he came out to meet you, he met his demise instead.
He looks at the letter and says, I had very little contact with them. I did meet Hammerstrom, but I did not write this letter. This is not mine. Who did this? Is this your creation?
No, we found it on our the corpse of the man who went out there to meet you.
Give me an observation roll.
Okay. Oh, shoot. My puppy's messing with my mouse. But I guess I can forgive him.
You can
Not
tell
very
that the priest is
unobservant.
very upset. He's kind of shaken at seeing this note. He looks around his desk and he produces another note. And he says, "Look, this is something that I wrote just recently. Why, Miss Karlstrom came to visit me." And he hands you this note. And it says, "Miss Karlstrom recently came to visit for a cup of coffee. We had a conversation, and she complimented me on how I unite Farnsta in our faith. Her praise warmed my heart, and the woman was very sweet. She then started asking questions about Mr. Hammerstrom, the man from the large sawmill in Harnasand. She wanted information about the business deals he was trying to negotiate, and there was something unsettling in her tone of voice. I see temptation in her eyes, temptation suggesting that she is not a God-fearing woman. Perhaps she will tempt the others to sell their land." And looking at the two documents, it's clear that the handwriting does not match.
Yeah, I'm thinking this might have something to do with Miss Kirstrom. Did I pronounce it?
Karlstrom?
Karlstrom. Yeah. I'm wondering if it matches her handwriting.
You have not seen her handwriting,
Yeah, so.
but we're going to
that's what I'm
cut to
kinda-
the sawmill, and we've got two players at the sawmill. Let me pull up a-
They might be getting.
That's why you were happy. That's why you were happy.
You find yourselves at the sawmill. It's a bustling place with much work going on. It's located on the bank of the brook, a great water wheel powering the saw inside the building, the foundations made of stone and the rest of dark wood. This is where all the lumber is treated in the village. During the day, if you enter, you see Marta Karlstrom at her desk, and she is prepared to give you an enthusiastic tour of the mill. She gives or stresses her opinion that steam power will always lack the precision of good old manual effort. let me show you here where these men work these saws, and over here we stack the lumber. And she's giving you this great detailed tour. At one point, someone comes up with a small clipboard with papers, and she is signing it, and you see it. And if this were a movie, the camera would pan to her handwriting, and it would be very similar to the note you found on Mr. Hammerstrom. It looked like someone was trying to get the priest instigated here.
Well, Helena, perhaps if I distract her for a while, just try and get her locked in a conversation about some of the mechanisms in the sawmill. Perhaps you could go and take a look in her office or something like that.
Well, Johan, give me a manipulation roll, and Helena, if you want to do that, give me a stealth roll.
Sure.
That was not great. So the stealth roll is good. Do you want to push that manipulation roll?
Yeah, and can I use my
Your advantage?
advantage?
Yep, so add your +2 to that. And then that's gone for the session.
I'll need
Go ahead and roll 2 more dice. Oh, you got a 6.
Oh.
Sweet. So make sure you give yourself a condition, but you did pass. So it's not easy. She's very nosy and determined and does not want to be deterred, but she loses sight of Helena. And Helena, you kind of go peeking around, and during the tour there was a door that she did not show you what was in that room. She kind of walked right past it. It's kind of off out of the way, but you notice that it is locked.
Can I try picking the lock or something?
Yeah, give me a stealth roll. And give yourself a bonus die on this. You got it. You're going to
Nice.
find something inside. Inside the room, you find this.
Oh my god.
You see a green and elaborately ornamented robe, and a large pentagram painted on the wall, with Liberorum Fadus carved into it. You have already learned that this means the Order of the Free Ones, League of the Free, something along those lines. The carvings on the wall describe a sacrificial ritual to be performed at least once per generation. Give me a learning roll.
I have some gear that I think, book collection that helps with learning rolls.
Perfect. So does that give you a bonus?
Bonus of 1.
Yep. So add 1 die to your learning roll.
Awesome.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. I
Nice.
needed that one.
You know that this ritual is pagan in origin, but it has Christian elements woven into it. You also find another text. Let me send it here. I'll read it to you. The cruel fate of the cat, baptized by fire in the name of the Lord, gave it life anew. Now it watches over this place, and it always will, sworn to be its protector. Only when its bones suffer the same fate that once brought it into existence will it perish.
So by fire?
Sounds like by fire.
Okay.
Let me make sure everyone can view this. Do you have access to that? Let me give you access to this one too, to that picture. Excellent. And as you are looking through this, Johan, you are finding it difficult to keep her distracted. She kind of looks around. Where is your friend?
Oh, I believe she left to freshen up before we left and rejoined our companions.
Well, perhaps it is time for you to do the same. I want to thank you for stopping by, but there is much work to do. And she starts to push you towards the exit.
Of course, I will leave in due time. Can I see if Helena has started to return, or if they're still sneaking around?
Give me an observation roll. You do not see Helena. You don't see her inside, outside. You assume she's probably still in the room.
I will just see if I can try and keep Helena away from that room.
Give me another manipulation roll. This will be with a penalty of -1.
I will get 0 dice.
You'll still get to roll 1. So you got a 1 in 6 chance. Oh, so close.
Oh!
So close.
Oh!
She cannot be stopped. She kind of evades your conversation and heads around through the sawmill, kind of heading towards the room where Helena is secreted. You can hear footsteps approaching Helena, and voices saying, "Thank you for stopping by. I must get back to my work." And the voice sounds like it's just outside the door.
Oh no.
What do you do?
Well,
There are no other ways in or out of this room.
I would try to like block the door with something so she can't come in and find me, I guess.
Okay, you reach out and you grab hold of the door handle and kind of take in a deep breath and hope that no one tries to open this door. And we'll go back to the church.
Great.
And we've got you guys talking to the priest. Let's go back in there. He has shown you some of his handwriting. He's given you one of the church documents. Do you have any other business here?
Do we?
So he said he could show us the entrance of where the bones were buried, right?
Yeah, but we're not aware of what to do. We're not the same team.
Yeah, no, I know, but he did say that though, right?
Well, it was on the document. Yeah, he gave you the document that mentioned
Okay.
where the bones were buried.
Okay, so they're around there, in the vicinity.
Yep.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Should we go find the rest of our group? I got a bad feeling.
Yes. This location is of vital importance, surely.
Do you want to leave the church and head over to the sawmill?
Yeah, I think we better regroup, and then we can kind of, at this point.
Yeah.
Excellent. He
So,
bids you
I
farewell
kinda-
with God, he says.
Because
As
at
we
this
go
point,
out-
I pretty much have an idea that it's the lady, our hostess lady, who's behind all this. I pretty much kind of figured that out. So now I'm kind of concerned since that she's even more deeply involved that our friends could be in danger. So I'm
Excellent.
like, let's hurry up and find them.
Oh. Okay, I was having another idea, but
What's your idea?
if we could do some kind of seance to try to communicate with our friends.
You could try that. Maybe not in the church. I don't think the priest would.
No, I meant
be-
outside.
Yeah, if you want to go outside, like you could do it on the church grounds, or you could go just
Yeah.
find a secluded
I
spot
would
in the
probably
woods.
not profane the church grounds personally. Would be
Right,
my
right.
suggestion.
Especially if you know that, like, the church grim kind of protects the church grounds.
Yeah. Like just outside of the church grounds, like.
Yeah, there's a spot out in the woods that's off the church grounds. In fact, it's where you were last night, and the grim did not go past that spot. It's
And
probably
of course,
a safe
I
spot.
had my crystal ball in my purse.
Perfect.
So
Give me an observation roll with a bonus of 1 as you try to maybe will the spirits to communicate with Helena and Johan.
Damn!
Do you want to push that roll?
Oh yeah, I'm pushing.
Okay.
This is important.
There you go.
Yes.
So
What kind of physical or mental?
that would be mental.
Okay.
So Helena and Johan, you feel the psychic impression of a warning that you are in grave danger.
Well, knowing that Helena is probably in more danger here, Johan is just going to go over to some of the machinery in the sawmill and just kind of break something, just to get her attention and say, "Oh, sorry, is this supposed to go in here? I was just inspecting this," and
Nice.
just try and pull her away that way, so that maybe she'll just shoo us out of the sawmill.
Nice.
And
Do an inspiration roll. Oh no, sorry, a force roll. Let's do that.
And perhaps could I get a bonus die because I have knowledge of
Yes.
like ship workings, as I was.
Yeah, you were a
in the
sailor.
Navy. Yeah.
There's lots of gears and things here. You wanna
I'll push it.
Okay. There we go.
there we go.
So you see Marta's hand reach out and it grabs that doorknob. And Helena, you feel the knob begin to turn, and then it stops and lets go as she then darts over. "You fool, what have you done?" And she pushes you away from some of the machines and calls over workmen and "Stop the saws!" And they begin to turn off the machinery to try and get that figured out. This is your chance, Helena, to try and sneak out.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly open the door and like get away from the.
Make a
office.
stealth roll with a bonus die because of the commotion.
Just say, hey, this isn't the bathroom. Huh?
Oh, right.
Whoops. Ooh, you want to push that?
No, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So you managed to get out of the room, shut the door behind you. With your extra success, you even have the forethought to lock it. And
Awesome.
then you kind of sneak over and stand by Johan. You're like, it's quite the mess there. And he looks at you and's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And you guys sneak out. And you meet up with the others somewhere halfway between the church and the sawmill. Probably compare notes.
Yeah.
And it's probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon, about now. You hear a loud shrieking sound coming from the direction of the church. What do you do?
Well, investigate.
Go investigate the church?
Yeah, kind of a little, obviously since we heard a screeching sound, then we know something's going on. Like, kind of stealthily without getting too, just running into the church, kind of staying outside the property lines and seeing if we can observe anything before we move in.
Something is definitely going on. As you
And it's
approach
inside
the
the
church, you see a grisly form up on the front steps. You see a severed hand still clutching the metal ring of the heavy wooden door, and the rest of you presume a body, is lying on the stairs, torn apart like a crumpled leaf. As you get closer, you realize it is the old priest.
Wow.
Well, it doesn't seem like the creature was just protecting the church.
Yeah, give me an inspiration roll. You think that there was more to it than just protecting the church, as though something changed.
Well, and I'm kind of thinking after finding information during my little search of the house that our hostess is might be, or her group might be controlling this beast now.
It's very possible. Let me have the hunter. Let me have Torin make a medicine check.
Okay.
One success. This
Good.
priest was torn apart by a beast. These wounds look similar to the ones you found on Mr. Hammerstrom, and you're all but convinced the Church Grim must have torn the priest apart. And Victor, give me an inspiration roll.
Victor.
Victor, are we there?
Oh, sorry, I zoned out again. What? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Give me an inspiration roll.
Ah, okay. This is the thing I can do.
It's the second time.
Do you want to push that roll?
It's not a thing I do. I will push that roll.
There we go. You know that this man, although he may have held secrets, he seemed to be honest and upright, and that he did not pose a threat to the church. You notice that the bottoms of his feet are covered in mud, and he's got mud on some of his outfit that he was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to proceed?
That's a good
So
question.
what do you think, guys? Should we try and find the cat corpse and burn it like they found out was supposed to be done?
Seems like that's.
Because I think if we take this creature away from them, we kind of take away the power of the group.
As you are standing here on the steps of the church, contemplating your course of action, you can hear the deep thudding steps of something approaching from the north.
Yeah, I definitely think we need to destroy the bones of the Grim.
With flames, yes, that
Yeah.
is the wise course of action.
You have a suspicion of where they might be. I believe the document said, what did it say? They were east of the third great stone, to the north is the entrance.
I am gonna guess that's headstones in the graveyard.
Yeah. If you head out to the graveyard, you can see the lines and rows of stone headstones. And in the back corner on the north side, there are several large boulders. And you see a gap between two of them. And you count 3 stones on one side, 2 on the other. And if you approach that gap, you see that there is indeed a tunnel that leads down into the darkness.
Huh. I'm gonna tell everyone I think this might be the place.
There are muddy footprints leading in and out of this.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to be rifle ready as we kind of head down there.
Perfect. Who is in the lead?
I guess since I'm kind of the hunter with my rifle, I'll
Yeah.
be kind of going in the lead, trying to keep an eye out.
Yes, I think I'd be right behind him.
Perfect. It's very dark inside. You've got some lanterns that you were able to probably get from the church if you need them, and you can take them down into this dark area. It is very slick and wet down here. The muddy passageway leads to stone, and it looks to be some sort of limestone cavern. And as you traverse through this passageway, it twists and winds, and you get the sense that it is somehow leading in a circle, perhaps under the graveyard and towards the church. You see a huge reddish-orange streak on one of the walls. This must be the iron ore deposit that Dorothea was telling you about. As you continue on a bit further, you see up ahead a large chamber, and inside are the trappings of some sort of ritual chamber. There are racks containing black robes. There's a huge pentagram painted on the wall, and enough room for 20 or 30 individuals to meet down here. A little bit further on, the passageway continues, and you find a ancient stone with Latin carving on it. And the priest, Victor Black, who would be skilled in Latin, understands that this is, it says, resting place of the guardian.
This looks like home.
Yeah.
I guess we would have to try and maybe push the stone or whatever, so we can, because I believe it would probably be on top of it.
Give me a force roll.
Alright.
And you can get a bonus. I'm assuming you're being helped. So +1 bonus.
I would hope they would help me.
Yes. It's a holy.
They're just standing around watching me struggle.
Here, I'll hold your rifle.
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
You are unable to shift it. It's definitely buried in there. You're going to have to dig it out. It's going to take some time.
Okay. So I guess we better figure out how we're gonna dig this out. Some people, someone keep watch, obviously.
Who's keeping watch?
Johan could go keep watch. He does have a revolver.
And where are you keeping watch?
I could just at the mouth of the tunnel.
Like out by the graveyard?
Yes.
Perfect. So it takes hours to dig this stone out. It's larger than you thought. It looks to be almost a large sarcophagus. And you've got to dig it out, pull it out, pry it out. The going is not easy. You work in shifts. Johan, give me an observation roll. Night begins to fall. It's getting dark. And you are distracted for a moment, wondering if you hear the church grim off in the woods. Your thoughts begin to turn to terrible, horrible things that have happened in your life. You even, for a moment, consider how dirty and filthy your clothes are as you look down and you see the mud on you. Now, off camera, I'm actually playing with his dark secret. So his character cannot cope with filth disorder. And so that is probably why you failed to notice the group of people approaching in the darkness. Let me send a picture here. And you're looking off into the woods, completely unaware, until you turn around and come face to face with a robed figure. They swing a club down at your head, and the two of you are going to be in a little bit of coma. So let me pull us to this screen. And I'm going to pull Johan out here. Alright, I'm going to put you into a combat. So in combat, there are initiative cards. They're numbered 1 through 10, and you would draw a card, and then it goes in order lowest to largest. So if I draw here, Johan, you drew a 1, the other people drew a 3, a 5, and an 8. So you will get to go first, and you get a fast action and a slow action. A slow action would be like attacking, shooting, doing things like that. A slow action would be dodging, parrying, drawing a weapon. You can also move. Ranges in this game, it's not a set number of feet. You're either like immediate range, which is within 10 feet, your short range, which is like 30 or 40 feet. And basically the range bands are 0, 1, 2, and beyond. I believe your pistol, it has a range on it. Let me pull it up here.
It's 0 to 1.
0 to 1. So you can use it up close or for people 20 or 30 feet away. These are all up close. So it's your turn.
So will I roll my revolver or my combat skill?
So it's going to be your close combat if you are like clubbing them with it. If you're shooting them, it's your ranged combat.
Well, the one that just tried to club me, I will shoot them with the revolver.
Okay. And you did not get a success.
I will push it.
I'm going to push that. There you go. So 1 success. And so they have the opportunity to try and dodge that. So they're going to make an agility roll. And if they get 1 success, it will be dodged. They do. So they managed to sidestep your bullet. So that was your slow action, and that was his fast action. And we go back to...
Well, can I still move as well?
Yes, you can still move.
Then I'm going to dart back into the tunnel and call out to everyone in there.
Okay, and surely everyone in there heard the gunshot as well.
Oh, there you go.
Then you can hear Johan shouting as he's coming down the tunnel. So make an agility roll to get away from them. Yep, you get away. Boy, do you get away. You got some extra successes there. So you managed to get a little bit of a lead on them. Let's go back to the main group. You have extracted the sarcophagus, and it'll take another force roll to open it. I'm going to give you a +2 bonus because now you have the whole thing out of the dirt. It'll be much easier to open.
Okay. Let's try and open it.
Let's go ahead and make that force roll.
Okay. Ah, shoot.
Still struggling. You want to push that roll?
Yeah, I think I better.
I think now would be a good time to push it.
Yeah.
Have you used your advantage yet?
Yeah, you can use that right
No.
now if you want. Get a +2.
Yeah, maybe
You
I'll
may
do
not
that.
add it to your push, but you could also just roll 2 extra dice.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah, I
push
can
it,
add
you will
as the
take a
bonus.
physical condition. Oh, if you can add the bonus, yeah, add. So you're going to add 1
And do
to
I still
it
have
because you got it out plus an additional 2.
and plus? So it'll be 3 extra.
Extra 3. Oh, man.
Oh man.
Man.
Okay, well, you're struggling to get it open. You don't quite have it open yet. And Johan comes bursting through the little ritual room into the chamber, shouting that the cult is coming. What does everyone do?
I get my dagger
Well,
out.
Yeah, I'll get my rifle ready.
Get your rifle ready. And so from
And
here,
also,
you could position yourself to
yeah.
get a shot. With the rifle, I think the range is 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, so you can't use it
Yeah,
up
1 to
close.
3.
But from here, you would be range 1 for when they come into view.
And
Yeah,
me,
that's
I
what I was
go
thinking,
hide
and
in the shadows.
Perfect. What about Victor? What is he doing?
Yeah, I actually don't have any.
No weapons? You got your bare
weapons,
fists?
but- Yeah, I'm not really the fighty guy. We're in the tomb still, correct? With the,
Yes,
the guardian?
yes.
So I mean, maybe I'm trying to figure that out, like the ritual end of this. I'm not really the fist fight occultist guy.
Yeah, well, you could try and get the box open while
Yeah, try and get the box open while we're
Torrent's
trying to.
fighting.
I'll try and pick them off.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Perfect. And then what is Helena doing?
I don't have any weapons either.
Do you want to help him try and get
Yeah.
the box open?
Yeah, I'll help.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and let me just pull some figures out here. Are you going to fire right away when you see them, or are you going to let them come in and see what's going on?
Oh, I think I'm gonna fire right away at them when I.
They already
And
tried to attack me. So.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
in the
but-
shadows, but right next to the door.
Perfect. So I'm just going to pull a couple of them out here.
With my dagger out.
Let me pull you guys out here. Perfect. As the first person comes into view, Torin, I'm going to let you take a shot.
Okay. So.
Nice. So you got a hit.
Mm.
They are not expecting you, so they will not be evading. That does 2 points of damage. Tell me how you take out the first cultist.
Basically, I try and shoot his leg right in the thigh so that he can't keep walking towards us.
Excellent. You hit him in the leg, and he goes down in a spray of blood, and he is out of the fight. The other two shout and are going to charge towards the group.
As
You then
soon as
see-
the second one enters, I stab him.
So are you inside the ritual chamber?
Yeah, I'm inside, but in the shadows right next to the door.
Got
As
it.
soon as one steps in, I stab him.
Got it. So go ahead and make your stabby attack.
Alright.
Ooh, do you want to push that?
Yes. I'm gonna
Oh.
use...
Are you going to use your advantage?
Oh yes, I never used it, so
Go ahead
I'm
and
gonna
roll
add
2 dice.
2.
Ooh.
Damn!
You bring that
Dang.
knife down, and it narrowly misses. In fact, your hand hits the ceiling. It's kind of a low chamber, and it deflects your blade just enough that just a shower of dirt comes down.
Yeah, it missed because of my injury of when I hold the knife too tight earlier.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a gimpy shoulder, and couldn't quite land that blow. But after you swing the blow down, you see a familiar face come into view. It is Marta.
What a shot!
And she is leading someone that is blindfolded and has or not blindfolded, has a bag over their head, but it looks to be a young woman. Let's go back to Victor and Helena trying to open the box. So that is going to be a force roll with a +1 bonus because you are working together. So whoever would like to make that. I'm not sure who has the highest force.
I have 0 in force.
Ooh, probably
So-
Victor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that was what I was gonna do. And yeah, not really my forte, but needs must.
You get to roll 2 because of your physique.
Oh, I have 4 in physique
Oh,
though.
so Helena is stronger than you.
Okay.
So maybe Helena roll and get a +1 bonus with Victor's help.
Can I also use my advantage for this?
Have you used? I don't think you've used yours yet,
No.
have you? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, do you want to push it?
Yeah, I will.
Turns out you guys are opening the wrong end or something.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, a pull, not a push.
We're gonna die trying to open this stupid
Right.
thing.
We rolled really high when it didn't matter at the start of the session,
Yep.
and now
Like you
Yeah,
guys can read
exactly.
Latin like it's nobody's business, but you can't open a box. Johan, you've got your pistol.
Yes.
Go ahead and take a shot. And who are you shooting at?
Nice.
I will try and shoot Mrs. Carlston.
Marta?
Yep.
She is going to try to dodge. So you got a success. You got 2 successes. So with an additional success, that can deal an additional point of damage. She needs to make an agility roll, and each one of her successes will counter one of yours. So that only counters 1, so you still hit. What is the damage of your pistol?
Does 2 damage.
2 damage. Tell me how you take out Marta.
So I think I'm just trying to kill the leader in the hopes that the rest will disband. So I'll just take aim and steady myself and probably hit her right in the head, and her head just explodes on the tunnel walls.
Yeah, total headshot. Just splatters like a melon. Spatters all over the wall. She hits the ground. Blood splashes onto Valentina, who's standing right there. You've got bits of skull and hair, and
she doesn't look bothered at all.
she probably enjoys this. It's like, take that for stealing my letter. The figure with the bag over their head screams and begins shouting. She's unaware of what's going on, just hears these loud noises. Let's go to the 2 free ones that are here. One is going to attack Valentina with a knife. So Valentina, you still have your fast action. We've got 2 successes. You can try to
Dodge.
either fight back or you can dodge. So if you want to dodge, that's an agility. If you fight back, it's going to be your close combat.
Okay, I'm gonna use my... Oh, actually I'm gonna fight back.
Yeah, I think you're better with your knife.
Yeah.
And you got no successes. So you will
I'm
take...
good at manipulating, but this, no.
So you will take 2 points of physical damage, which is going to break you. So if you click those 2 boxes,
I'm
you
gone.
are broken. So you basically hit the ground, and you're going to take a critical injury. It's going to be a 25, let me pull up the critical injury chart, and I'll tell you what happened to you. Let's see. 25 physical critical injury. A facial injury. So they get you with a knife right across the face, and it leaves a scar from above your left eyebrow, down the bridge of your nose, and over to your right cheek. As they slash your face and blood runs into your eyes, you hit the ground. And you are basically dying. If you do not get first aid in the next 10 minutes or so, there's a good chance you will expire.
Alright.
We will go to the other free one, is going to charge ahead at Torin that had the rifle, and we'll make a knife attack on Torin. And Torin, you would be able to make a dodge, or you could do close combat and try and butt them with the butt of your rifle. And they do not get a success. So you actually don't need to try and dodge. Let's go back to Torin. So they're right on you.
I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I'm going to stab him with my knife.
You got it.
There we go.
You want to push that?
Yeah, I think I'll push it.
Okay.
Damn.
Did not get it. Let's go to Helena and Victor. You guys get that box open?
Oh, I think Victor is away for a couple of minutes.
Not
Okay.
yet, but I
Okay,
do
not
ask
yet.
to be in a few,
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Let's
you're
let
still
Victor
there.
roll this one, and he can have the +1. See if he has any better luck than Helena has. Nope.
No.
Do you want to push that?
yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, you got it!
Nice.
Good
So
job.
you manage to, you call upon the power of God to aid you, and you get the lid off the box. Turns out you guys are trying to lift, but it's the kind that you push. And so you push it and it slides off, riding in the little groove. And inside you see the blackened bones of an old ancient cat.
So can we burn them now?
Yeah, you have a lantern.
Okay.
It's sad that I cannot say out loud that I have the tinderbox on me.
Oh, I know. Someone go loot her body.
I guess I'll just smash the lantern onto
Nice.
the bones.
Okay, you bring it down and smash it, and there's a large flash of flame as the hot gas ignites all inside the box. The bones crackle and sizzle, and then they begin to let off a strange black smoke. This thick black smoke begins to fill the cavern. It rises up to the top and skulks along the top of the ceiling of this cavern. Strange blue sparks begin to come off the bones, and then they turn red, and you hear the painful wail of a creature near the entrance to this cave. And it begins to cry out in horrible pain, and then you hear it clomping around and running, and then you hear the combustion of something large outside. You're not sure what it is from down here, but it sounds like something just went up in flames. Johan, your turn to take a shot. You want to take out this free one.
Alright.
You got it?
Yeah.
Probably the one that's right here. Take them out. And then let's go to Torin, can you take out this last one? And then you guys can finally get out of this infernal cave. Take a shot with your rifle.
Yeah. Let me do a rifle shot on this bugger.
Oh, yes!
So that will do 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage. So you killed them 4 times over. You easily take them down with a rifle round. And you see Valentina squirming on the ground, clutching her face. If you would like to go
like
and
a
assist her, you can. Yeah, be like a first aid check, like a medicine roll.
Yeah, I'm an herbalist.
Perfect. Oh, you got it. So, Valentina, you will uncheck the broken box. So you're no longer broken, which means you're no longer dying, but you're still pretty badly wounded, and you will need some rest and recovery. But you manage to get everyone back on their feet. You manage to make your way out of the tunnel. The person that had the bag over their head, if you remove the bag, it was Wilhelmina.
Yeah, that's
and she relates a horrible tale about how the Grimm came to her house and lured her mother and her away. Her mother was slain, and she was captured by Marta to be brought down here for sacrifice. But thanks to your courage and valor, you have saved her life. She begins to weep and sob, knowing that her entire life has changed, but grateful that you have rid the town of this horrible reign by Marta Karlstrom and this cult that has pervaded the people for hundreds of years. After all this goes down, you return back to your home. The truth of the vile rituals of this cult are exposed. Persecutions begin, not unlike the 19th century witch hunts, in search of loyal members who are at best driven from the village and at worst lynched. Before long, the village will have rid itself completely of the pagan faith. The landowners sign Mr. von Meyer's contracts and sell him their land. The little sawmill that once belonged to Karlstrom is expanded and equipped with a steam engine. New roads are built, and Farnstad becomes a major logging center. However, the greatest riches come from the caves and their iron ore, making Farnstad a prominent location for the mining industry as well. But at the same time, the fertile soil and the closeness to nature will be gone, and the famous trees of Farnstad will never grow as tall again. Whether this is caused by the greedy industry or the absent offerings to the gods of nature remains a mystery. The old church is torn down, and a modern white church is built at a different location. The caves are now excavated. The bells will never toll at night on the night before a death, and the sound of startled birds are no longer heard in the graveyard. However, Farnstad's church has lost its guardian, and with its rapid growth, the village will soon be plagued by grave robbing. You are rewarded handsomely by Mr. von Meyer. He asks what happens to poor Gottfried, and hearing this, he sends his regrets and lets you know that his family will be taken care of. The society is also rewarded by the wealthy industrialist for stopping Karlstrom. And thus ends A Wicked Secret.
Awesome.
Nice.
Did you all have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a super fun game. It's real easy to grasp. It's fun to kind of unravel the mysteries. It's definitely not combat heavy. It's more investigative. But they all kind of proceed like this. They're basically one-shot adventures. You can do some campaigning. For example, we would, at the end of this session, everyone would gain essentially 5 experience points, and then you can spend 5 points to either pick up a new talent or to increase one of your skills. And then you would continue on with, into the next mystery. Any questions about how the system runs?
No, I was just gonna. I saw when I was watching the video on it that, like, so you have a castle or a house that you operate
so
out
basically
of,
you take over. It's called Castle Gillenkreuz, and it's an old abandoned castle, and you earn development points as well as experience points. So experience points are for your character. Development is for you to develop the castle, and you find old rooms that were blocked off, or you clean up and restore a study or a library, and then those add benefits throughout the campaign as you do learning roles or undergo certain quests. You can hire helpers, gardeners, and things like that. So if that's an aspect that appeals to you, you can definitely do the whole stronghold mechanic here.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting because then, like you're saying, you do like these little one-off adventures, and then you kind of return home, and then you have like creating of the home and your character and stuff, and then you leave from
you
there.
get a chance to improve your home, and it's really cool.
I thought that was kind of neat, yeah. But no, I definitely like this one a lot. I might have to check out some more of these adventures. I think it's kind of like the perfect mix because it's like, there's all that kind of stuff going on where you're trying to solve the mystery, those close calls, figuring everything out, and then you got a good little combat encounter at the end to finish it off.
Yeah, you get a little taste of everything. I've run a couple different sessions in this. The core book comes with one called The Dance of Dreams, and it's okay. There's another book which is called A Wicked Secret, and this is probably the best adventure of the book. But I've run another one out of there, and then I'm getting one ready to run called Silver of the Sea. The other one's called The Night Sow, and I kind of hate adventures that give away the monster in the title. But it's basically about a giant pig. But it's actually pretty cool. And then the Silver of the Sea, and then there's another one that I didn't run, but I've played in, called The Song of the Falling Star, and it was really fun to kind of unravel that mystery. But it's a great game. It's super easy to grasp. It's not real technical. It just gives you a chance to kind of really get into the story. And like I just happened to look in the Discord and saw how Luke has been like studying the handouts and noticing how the handwriting's different and stuff. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
And that was like 20 minutes
ahead,
before it was like 20 minutes before it was said in game. Like,
so he found.
I was like, Luke. Man. Luke, say it. But it was like, I'm scared that it's meta and they will get angry.
No, not meta at all. Like that was the whole point. So yeah, that's awesome, Luke. Well done. Going forward, I know I've got an Old Gods of Appalachia game coming up next week, and Tommy, I think you're in that one, right?
Yep, I'm in that one. I had a blast playing that
on the first one
already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that Old Gods one, it'll be. I mean, it's similar to this. It's an investigative, kind of scary sort of game. I know Clara and Luke and Henrik have done Call of Cthulhu with me, and Miss Pick has done Call of Cthulhu, and it's kind of similar. Like I really like this sort of game. So I know we've got room in the Old Gods of Appalachia. If Clara, if you and Luke have time in the schedule or are interested, it would be Cypher System, which I know Clara has played, and Luke is gonna play in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna do first night in Normandy. Yeah.
Yes, excellent. So that's one that I wrote. I wrote that like 7-8 years ago, and had it published in an e-magazine, and I love running that one. So Tommy, if you want to learn, the Cypher System, but if you want to do a World War II scenario, I do have a one-shot.
Okay, take a look at it.
Very cool.
But no, I kind of like that Cypher System. And,
Cypher System's a lot of fun.
And I buy a lot of PDF kind of on game books. I own like the the Old Gods Appalachian. I actually got this one
Nice.
also from Vaesen. It's funny. It tells you in the book, like, well, if you're only going to play, just read the first 3 chapters.
Right. Yeah. You really don't need all the rest of the background. You just need the first little bit.
Well, plus you don't want to kind of spoil the mystery if you're just going to be a player and not someone running the game, you know.
Because there's a huge
That
secret.
makes